Good evening, you beautiful cucumbers. Welcome to TCB Studios and welcome to Burn It Down. We'd like to thank our sponsor, A&F Agriculture. Big shout out to Sandy D. We'd like to thank Kelly's Death Pickles. Hit them up, order some, try them. They are amazing. You will not be sorry. Shout out to 3 on the 1s and 2s. And again, happy 2nd anniversary to them. Please check out that show on YouTube and follow them on Spotify. Big ups to I Choose Awesome. We choose awesome here at TCB Studios. It's the only way to be. It's the only way to be. And love, 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 love. Big ups to the badass in the driver's seat, Renée Yaworsky. Want to give a shout out to our brothers and sisters in Philadelphia. What a game. Good luck at the Super Bowl. I was just talking about this earlier today with some people in the studio. When it comes to family and life and friendship and music and art, sometimes I feel like I've won the lottery. That certainly is the case with my guest this evening. Wonderful artist, wonderful musician, wonderful human, wonderful singer, wonderful songwriter. I was talking about this with Renée earlier. Knows how to write them, execute, deliver, and then deliver like flawlessly, effortlessly. So we're going to burn it down. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about the past. We're going to talk about today. And we're going to talk about the future. Ladies and gentlemen, shika, the legend, Chattanooga Vic, Vic Burgess.
What's up in the World Wide Web?
That's right, man. We got people watching in Denver, Colorado this evening, San Francisco, New Jersey. So give them all a shout out.
What is up, y'all? Thank y'all for tuning in.
Oh, man, how you doing? Nice to see you. You look wonderful.
Thank you. I'm doing pretty good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You know, I am one of these people who I talk about this a lot, and I probably shouldn't even do that. It's like never declare. Like, you know, when I see people declaring, oh, I'm the happiest I've ever been, it's like, well, 3 weeks later, if you're not happy, are you going to tell everybody that, you know? So I get so nervous because right now things are going awesome. And I'm always scared and waiting for that other, you know, that other shoe to drop, you know. So I'm going to say things are awesome, but I'll never say I'm happy. Plus, being an artist, I'm sure you know, we're never happy. We're always striving to be better, better at writing our songs, crafting, painting, and even just being better people.
Right.
So I was talking about this lottery thing, and lately I've done a lot of talking about that. With, you know, we're just so lucky, and when it comes to like friends and family, holy cow, we're rich, you know. And then when it comes to like art and music and the people that we've met over the years and that we surround ourselves by, you know, who we surround ourselves with, again, I feel like, you know, there's that check off and like won the lottery when it comes to that, because you are you're this magical person, you know. And I had heard about you for years before I met you, and it was like, you haven't met Chattanooga Vic? Oh my goodness, you got to meet Chattanooga Vic. And it takes the world coming to a grinding halt, you know, for me to meet you online and then in person, for me to drive and play some shows with you in Tennessee, and then for you to come to Atlanta, and we need to go to some other places, you know. And it's been the pleasure and the privilege has been just all mine and tremendous, you know. And it's just been just such a wonderful ride so far.
Back at you, bro. You're gonna make me cry.
Oh man. Well, I remember when we met outside Walk Street Records, and well, let's just say the world had, the world was a mess and had come to this grinding halt, and that thing has an effect on you. And so we just said, listen, we're going to have a good time today. And we got crazy. It was amazing.
Like, hey, you want to ride to the liquor store? So you had me at liquor store.
Yeah. And then I was like, you want to go to my friend's Irish pub? You had me at Irish pub.
That was fun.
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah. And then next thing you know, I'm like, where's Vic Burgess? Always hanging out with the guys in Soundgarden.
Oh yeah. No, it's Alice in Chains.
Yes, that's right. Okay. Yeah. See, what I love about this show, no edits. You're absolutely right.
And I told my wife, I was like, because the new singer, Alice in Chains, obviously had his band was playing there outside of Little 5 Points.
Right.
Go hang out with Alice in Chains. And I was meeting you guys at the record store, and y'all says, I'm gonna go in this little bar, walk in the bar, and there's a singer, and nobody knew who he was. There was one girl there with him getting her picture made. Nobody else in the bar knew who he was, so I just got up and took my
Yeah. William, yeah, I've met him before. Super nice guy. He is like an Atlanta legend because the band that he was doing a reunion with, Neon Christ, was a really big punk band, 20-something years ago. And then he moved out to LA, started playing. And then next thing you know, I think he was in Jerry Cantrell's solo band. And then next thing you know, he's the next singer of Alice in Chains, which is amazing, and it shows you that these wonderful stories can happen, which is awesome.
The hit he wrote?
Yes, he wrote the song for the girl from Arrested Development.
What you doing, babe? I know why you die. I love that he co-wrote that.
Yeah, he wrote some really good R&B songs back in the day, before he moved out to LA. Speaking of songs, so I mean, writing down, some descriptions of you today, and I mean that completely, because I sometimes feel like when I watch you, like our friend Rory Penland, shout out to Rory, big ups and big love to Rory. He sometimes feel like this man and body, out of time and out of mind, out of this other place, because he's this class act and he's part Sinatra, but then he's also part Elvis and he's part Roy Orbison. And it's lovely. And I certainly try to achieve that in some of the things that I do in my songs. And you really do this. You're this fantastic, magical performer. But the songs and the words are yours, the melodies are yours, and it sounds like you might have been born 20 years late or something, because I really think that you would have, fit in with so many of the great folks, either in Laurel Canyon, one, or two, the greats in the South, whether it was touring with the guys from the Allman Brothers or anything like that, and it's, and that doesn't have to mean that even any of that's your influences. It's just something about it. It's that presence. And I think I told you that the first time I met you.
And I appreciate all that Southern California country rock is kind of, I guess, where I'm at really, because I got a little slot twang, but not real country. So, I would say, even though I would say my biggest influences are songwriter, not rock bands. That's a separate thing to me. But, Townes Van Zandt, I would say Townes Van Zandt, Roger Allen Wade, and Warren Zevon, I guess.
I love it. I love it. So. I read Warren Zevon's book, I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, about 10 or 12 years ago, and it blew me away. And supposedly there's a documentary with the same name of it that's out on a VHS tape, but I have not seen that yet. But the book blew me away. I mean, everything he was doing, he was playing music professionally at 12 years old, and there's so many funny one-liners in it. And he's talking about ends up at, I don't know if it was the Whiskey a Go-Go, but certainly one of those places in LA. And he said he's out of his mind on acid, and it had to been in mid-70s. And he goes in the men's room, and Tom Waits and John Belushi are on the floor wrestling. It's like, and he's like, am I imagining this? Am I dreaming this right now? Or is it, did the acid just really, the acid just kick in, or is this happening? And it's just full of these beautiful golden like stories and nuggets of this out of his mind, but brilliant, genius writer.
That's what I like about Towns and him and Roger and that's what I feel like I try to do is, I don't make it too dark, and it's not dark all the time. Even if it is dark, I have a little humor in it, like black comedy almost.
Right.
So you don't. I try to not make it too serious because Towns stuff will just. He had some of the darkest stuff.
Oh, it'll tear you apart. Forget about it. Yeah, I think that's one of the things I relate to with you about is because I'm similar, and I don't. I shouldn't say I'm similar. I think we have these similarities where, like, I'll do 3 lines that I think are like stabbing myself in the gut or whatever. But in that 4th line, I have no problem being like self-deprecating or making fun of myself or making fun of the whole situation. Like, well, listen, I had no business being with that woman anyway. They're like, this is an old English boxing term saying, you're fighting above your weight, mate. And like, well, she was way too attractive for me anyway. I had no business being there. But I absolutely love that you do that, and it's so. And those heroes are straight up heroes of mine as well, and I can see that. And lately, I've been listening to some going back country. Like today, I was working and listened to Waylon Jennings all day, and oh my goodness, unreal. And then I recently got turned on to Chris Christopherson's album, I think, came out in '73 called The Silver Tongued Devil. That record might be the greatest thing I've heard in like 10 years. And that guy owned, like, I always heard about the songs he wrote for other people and stuff, but he wrote them and he's playing and he's singing. And that guy owned his let's just say his mess ups, his F ups in life. I remember my dad used to tell me when I was a boy, he's like, listen, own your F ups. Own your fuck ups and they go away quicker, like that. And that guy on that record owns his screw ups and his mess ups. And it's just absolutely heartbreaking and unbelievably brilliant.
Amazing. He's an amazing writer. Thankfully, still with us. There's not many left.
Knocking on wood there. Yeah. So, like I said, I heard about you through some folks in Chattanooga. I also heard about you. Shout out through our brother Lars Nagel, and you and I and him have shared the stage together. I've even backed you up on a couple songs. We've done songs together. It's amazing. Heard about you through Blake Renée and his Demons and the Young Antiques guys. And then, like I said, some Tennessee folks would mention your name. I'd always hear about either Vic Burgess or Chattanooga Vic. It seems like you've just been around, and is it been you or the X-Laws? Like, I mean, because I know I've met the X-Laws and I played with them as well.
Yeah, the X-Laws, I that. Well, initially, the idea was to do something with my music, but then you add guys that are also songwriters. We got 4 guys in the band; they're all songwriters. We got
all amazing songs, and it's such a great name. I mean, it's such a good name.
Johnny Stockman, the Unsatisfied.
Yes.
Guys. Well, Johnny, I'd given him, I'd traded him a Eddie Van Halen 5150 head, and he gave me a lifetime of what's the word? Graphic design.
Oh, yes, exactly, yes.
Time I had an idea for a shirt, the poster, he'd do it. Which he would still do something for me, but I'm like, I feel like I've gone to the well enough for that amp. But he made that iconic X-Laws because
it's so good.
I didn't make it, so I can brag on it. To me, put that at Hot Topic. You'd have all these teenagers running around with X-Laws shirts, has no idea who we are.
Right. Yes, I love it, man. I love it. Everything about it. It makes so much sense. Well, it's in the vein of those earlier artists I'm talking about, but then again, like Chris Christopherson, I think of like the Highwaymen and just and there's a compliment in here, but it's like the first of like the bad guys. You know what I mean? And like I said, there's a compliment in there, but it's like, yeah, man, these guys are good guys, but they've been around some bad too.
Yeah, right. Which we're more really like what we're doing now is more rock, but we have a lot of more country stuff. But as far as when we play live now, we're pretty balls to the wall, rock and roll, punk.
Yeah.
Not punk, but punk influenced rock, I
Well,
guess.
right. Yeah, well, yeah, because there's influences, sure, of like the Replacements, who we both have talked about, who I love. One of my favorite American bands ever. And then you even hear stuff of like maybe early, even like the '90s, when Black Crowes came out. Because there's these great solos and stuff. Yeah, it's heavy rock. It's like this northern. It's got this soul to it, and then the punk influence.
Yeah, yeah, and we're actually starting to record the new record on Saturday. So
That was my next question. So what's going on with these horrible bad men that you play music with?
be recording with Breaker 17 Studio in Fort Oglethorpe. It was just it's close. I recorded "A Fool and His Money Will Soon Party" there.
I love that.
And then Jason Von Stun did that album cover, which is a great album cover.
Yeah.
But so we're going to record there. Just really, to me, when I go in the studio, now I want to get the feel and catch as much stuff as we can, but I want to get as much drums as we can.
Right.
Trying to do a whole album, so. And you want
I
that.
love.
All those guys back in the day, they did their albums. They did their albums a lot quicker than a lot of us are doing their albums.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. Yeah, well, they might do an album in a few days. You're absolutely right. Things have changed. Listen, you have a lot of responsibilities as well, family to take care of and stuff. We'll take it when it comes, but we're super excited when it does.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Heck, I wrote a song. I was getting ready for this. I started writing a song.
When you said a fool and his money, so soon party. Like, I'm such a huge fan of like play on words like that backfire. So I had a teacher sign a yearbook for me when I was a terrible, messed up adolescent, and she was quoting Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And basically, I'm going to mess it all up. So I'm just going to I'll think of it in a second. And it's very, very funny. But let me hear about the song that you wrote. And when you were texting earlier, you were like, "Should I bring my guitar?" I'm like, "We will have you back on another show and have you play the song." But like, I just want to dig into it. The whole idea of this show is for us to have like, now that we're peers and we're good friends, is just have great conversation.
But yeah, this song I've had it in my head for a long time. It's called Ways, and I had it in my head a certain way though, like a melody, but I totally changed the melody because I had a progression and a melody tonight, and I thought, well, I'm gonna plug those lyrics in, and I just kind of plugged them in. So
Right. Yeah. So what was like the idea of it? And did you have one of those like one-liners, like 1-2 punches that we talk about that has a play on words like we've been talking about, or it will eventually get to that?
no, truthfully, it started with a little verse part that I was picking on, which was like an A minor to C.
Yeah.
Uh,
Those are chords I'm very familiar with that I bang on the piano on the keys. I definitely play simple songs with 2 or 3, like those minors. They call them the sad keys.
Right, the sad key. But it's funny because it's A minor, but then I go brighter, and then it's F, which it's the hardest chord to play. So I want to kick right F, but then switch it to F to G. So it gets the chorus is a lot brighter than the verses, but the verses they're very kind of fast wordy, which I don't do a whole lot.
Right, you don't.
So
And that's good. Yeah, because you normally stretch these things out, and that's really wonderful, and it works perfect for your voice because you have, again, this really soulful voice. But we also love going into uncharted waters and testing ourselves.
And actually, I drop a Cure reference in there to
Oh,
start it.
great. What was it?
I don't know if this is going to be the first line, but I'm thinking it is. It's like laying on the floor, listening to the Cure. I couldn't believe my head on the door was a dream.
Oh, beautiful. That's one of my favorite albums of all time, and it's probably my two favorite Cure albums are it's probably Boys Don't Cry and Head on the Door. Yeah, so that's a perfect, lovely pop album. I mean, new wave pop album.
I like the idea. It really is neat, which I think the country artists today do it too much. But it is kind of neat to reference the Cure in a song that has nothing to do with the Cure. I mean,
Right, totally. Wait, are country artists referencing the Cure these days?
do what?
Are country artists referencing the Cure these days?
No, I mean they like to go like listen to AC/DC, whatever you
Oh,
want to.
right. No, yeah, but new country is somehow, in my opinion, even worse than new R&B and new rap, and that's insane because it's all pretty bad. And I'm a lover of all kinds of music. I love hip hop. I love good hip hop. I love metal. I hate bad metal. And so there's so much bad stuff. Yeah, I've heard these new country songs. They're like, yeah, I was listening to the Def. I was at the Motley Crue show. She was shaking the donk. I'm like, is that a song? It's like, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's like that, and it's just, I mean, it's a little disingenuous. I try to do it too much, but it's true. I mean, this soul's true. I mean, I love the Cure, but I don't really write. I don't write, and I have told songwriters that you'll be a lot more original if you don't listen to the kind of music that you write and perform. Like,
Yeah.
or here in my car, I'm listening to Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
I'm listening to Alice Cooper.
I know. Listen, I know your style. You love these great, independent, old school, soulful singer songwriter storytellers, but you also blast, Exodus and Megadeth and all that stuff.
Megadeth. Saw Megadeth on Long Island.
I know. I wanted to go meet you. Oh my goodness. So this is terrible. Man, I'm messing up in so many ways. So Miss Jackson, real quick. My brain is crazy, but it is very funny. Miss Jackson signed this yearbook of mine in Queens, New York, and she was my English teacher who thought I had a lot of potential, but she said, "Tom, you're a mess," And she signed my book, and she quoted Shakespeare, and she was being sarcastic, and she wrote, "Parting is such sweet sorrow," which is a beautiful Shakespeare line. And I remember being 17, and I'm like, "That's awesome. Partying is such sweet sorrow." And I was like, years later, I'm like, "You are a buffoon, young man. Tom, you're an idiot." But
Yeah.
but I got news for you. It's been on a list of mine for several years. I'm going to write a song called "Partying is Such Sweet Sorrow."
Good. That's good. It
Uh,
can
it's these play on words that we always talk about.
definitely be.
I love it, man. I love it, love it. So wait, you guys are going into the studio this Saturday, and then what's the goal when you want to try this record out? And I know that you're going to be in Atlanta on the 13th playing some songs at the BLT Fest at the Star Bar, but I'm also planning on having you meet my friend Brian, who books there, and getting you guys, like when your record comes out, we need to get you full on playing a long set at the Star Bar because that's also been like a bucket list, a checklist for you.
I've played Little Vinyl Lounge. Sky? What was her name? Sky Page.
Yeah.
She had that songwriter night, and I played it 3 or 4 times down the Little Vinyl Lounge.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Well, good news is I hear that they're keeping the place at least another year. Knock on wood, and hopefully it stays longer because it's a wonderful place. It's a wonderful stage. It's a wonderful community atmosphere. I lucked out when I first moved to Atlanta in the mid '90s. It took me a minute to get in there, but once I got in there, I've done all right, and they've been very good to me over the years, and everyone who's been there has been just absolutely wonderful.
And it's kind of like I've got a line song. Got it. It's on my Facebook. We don't have it together yet as a band, but a prophet never welcome in his hometown. And it's of course that's from the Bible, but it's like you when you're that out of town band, it's different.
Yes.
Really, it's just because and up here it's like, oh, everybody, I've been in 80 bands and everybody knows, so it's just like it's harder to get stuff. So I'm ready to, if I
Yeah, when we played at the Cherry Street Tavern, which was great, which now what was that, 2 years ago? Goodness gracious, me, you, Brian Kinchler, Lars. That was an awesome show too. I think I knew the sound guy from playing there like in the '90s, and he's like, "Oh, you know Vic?" I was like, "I know Vic. Yeah, man. We're mates, man. We're stage mates. We're good friends now.
yeah, Joey Chattanooga for a long time. He's awesome.
Yeah, there's so many great people and so much talent there, and it's such a cool town. Like I love being in a town playing a show and then walking outside, whether it's to get a smoke or have a drink, and you're just surrounded by mountains. I mean, it's just something very so earthy and peaceful and spiritual about it.
Right.
I mean, does that kind of seep into your songs? Because they do seem like beautiful, soulful mountain songs. Some of them.
Yeah, I was hanging out in the front yard one day. I grew up right on Main Street, Lafayette, and across the street, beautiful mountain view. But I never, until when my dad died and I moved back into the family house and mom moved next door, I never really realized how nice a view I would have if it wasn't for the food line or Food City and all the crap that costs us.
Destroy the food line.
The beautiful antebellum old house before I was born there, and it was before people were saving stuff like that.
Right.
It got torn down to make this, the ugly strip mall thing or whatever.
Right.
And then it was before they were even trying to make those look good. But I was just thinking about how beautiful this mountain view was. That I don't know if you've heard that song, one of my newer songs called "Waiting on the Mountain to Turn Blue."
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when I wrote that song. I was like, man, really nice mountain view. And then they put the gas like at the Food City gas station, and then freaking Wells Fargo's got this ATM. I mean, I can read a book in my front yard.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I won't say who's close to me that's related to me. Like, Vic, you just need to shoot that thing out one night.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we need to be careful. We can't be talking like that.
I'd be federal offense. So
oh my goodness.
And I didn't do it.
Yeah, it wasn't me. I was inside. I was watching TV. So wait, you got any shows coming up in Chattanooga that I could? I'm working in town. I'm only a couple hours away to come and visit you and see you, or we can invite some of our friends that are watching now to come see you.
Where are you at right now?
I'm in Atlanta at TCB Studios, which is basically my hideout when I'm in town, and which I've lucked out. And again, shout out to Renée Yaworsky and everyone behind the scenes at CCTV. We are having so much fun doing this show because we get to, like I said, winning the lottery. I get to share my friendships with the viewers, and so after this, Renée and I will be posting some of your songs for some of the people who watch, or for all the people who've watched, and basically we're just trying to say, hey man, we're pretty lucky. Certainly there are so many people that have it worse than us. We're so lucky. So I want to share my friends with you and share their music and their talent, their arts with you.
Basically, the only thing I have booked right now is that was it March 12th?
March 12th. It's a Sunday evening. Yes.
So, but I just did a really good run of acoustic stuff, but I'm just truly waiting to get at least songs or one or two songs finished so I can book some quality rock shows.
Right. Yeah.
The difference between booking acoustic stuff, as you know, and rock show stuff.
Yeah.
A lot more. There's a lot more to it, and it's not that it's more trouble, but it's just it kicks you in the nuts a lot harder if
it's two different beasts, and there's two different completely approaches to it. I've learned so much as a performer the past few years from the way I used to approach stuff to now. But I mean, like I said, yeah, we're going to be sharing your songs with our audience, and I will be sharing them with other people that watch me on other channels. CCTV rules. We appreciate you and love you so much, man. You're such an awesome singer, songwriter, and just human to hang with. Because, like I said, well, I've gotten crazy with you. I've knocked a few back, and we've had never a dull moment.
Good times, bro.
Good times, and they need to happen again soon. And good luck in the studio with X Laws. Those guys, like I said, best name. But I mean, so many good songwriters. And yeah, we just need to make it a goal. Lars and I talk about this. It's like, yes, whatever's going on in our lives now, we just need to make sure that twice or three times a year we see each other and hang out and we jam.
Yeah, definitely, man. And that's not, it ain't that bad a ride, man, you know, zipping down there.
It's not that bad. One of the shows, because I've been in Chattanooga with you a couple times, one of the shows I did with you, we played a show on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
And then we had another show Sunday night in Chattanooga. I drove back to Atlanta in the morning, a little bit hungover, and I shot an episode of 3 on the 1s and 2s, drove back to Chattanooga and played a show with you.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey, listen, we suffer for our art. We do what we got to do. Yes, I spent a lot of time driving this in 24 hours, you know?
That's right.
Oh, man, it's so good to see you, man. Much love and one love. And we're going to when we get you back on the show, we'll have you do. See, that's the other thing we're trying to do with the show is have it evolve. So we have these great conversations, but we had my friends on from the band Valoris and they aired their video. And so the next time we have you on, we'll have you play a song because we don't have many people play songs. And we're constantly trying to have this wonderful, peaceful, beautiful, easy, organic change with the show, and everyone's changing with us, and it's just growing. And again, shout out to Renée Yaworsky, everyone behind the scenes, Sandy D, Rory, everyone who has shows, the community, everyone just supporting each other has been just so cool. And I sometimes have to, go like this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pinch myself, and I go, man, we're the luckiest people ever.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Love it.
So you guys are in the studio this Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Please send me pictures, text me pictures. I'll share them with everyone on CCTV. A couple of things I want to say. February 6th, which is next Monday, Pan Oria, who was supposed to be on our show, but she came down with really bad case of COVID a few months ago. Boom, boom, boom. So stoked. We have her rescheduled. February 13th, Monday, I have this writer, poet, and awesome musician, Ben David out. February 20th, I have this awesome, beautiful human drunkle named Gregory Elganin. And February 27th, the man I've been shouting out all day, this classic artist, painter, musician, beautiful human, Rory Penland. This show rules. You rule. Man, love you so much. And yeah, please, when we hang up, send me anything you got, and I want to share it with everyone. And Vic, I'll be texting you. We'll be talking this weekend, getting shots and pictures, and maybe hearing snippets from the studio.
Ooh, that sounds awesome, bro.
Dude, oh man, so much love. Yeah. Love is all around. Thank you so much, my man.
Hey, I love you guys. Thank y'all.
Thank you.